Cars 2. This is the lowest rated Pixar movie of all time. Which honestly surprised me because as of recently, a lot of their newer movies kind of suck. Looking back on it, Cars 2 is like a hidden gem. I mean, I've always loved Cars 2, but like it's never gotten the appreciation it deserves. And I think now it deserves it because after flop after flop after flop from Pixar, I think it's time to finally like revisit a controversial movie because I want to say exactly why I really like it and why it actually is a pretty damn good spy thriller. And I promise you this isn't a joke video. I'm not going to say like the irony of Mater, you are the bomb, you'll always be the bomb is comedic gold. Like this is a serious video. I love Cars 2. I've always loved it ever since I was a kid watching it on the big screen. And ever since now, where I still love it and actually watch it pretty occasionally. I believe the reason why this movie is critically and audientially bashed is because of the movie being like completely not what people expected. From the trailers, it really looked like it was going to be some sort of spy thingy, but also at the same time a very focused movie about racing. The spy plotline starts at the very beginning of the movie. There's barely any racing in this movie besides the fact that they're trying to blow up the cars. It is very self-centered on Mater and the spy story with Finn McMissile. Especially how this movie isn't PG. It's rated G for general audiences, which means that it doesn't have anything in there about parental guidance of the violence of the cars, which definitely probably makes it a little bit iffy for parents that go in expecting a racing movie and get cars literally blowing up and dying and a bomb threat on the UK. Like, yeah, coming out of my mouth, the movie's plot is absurd, but I think that's something that people miss out on, is that actually how good it's developed. People just think it's a regular Cars movie and stuff, but you know, under it, it's actually a really good spy thriller. If this was adapted into an actual live action movie with real people, this would probably win awards. Big Oil is trying to eliminate competition with new modern oil to get more profits. And Finn McMissile, who honestly, let's be completely honest here, has the best theme of any car or person of all time. Like just, oh my god, it's just so good. And this agency all around the world knows about this plot happening and they're trying to stop it. The problem is they don't know who the leader of this organization is. And Mater gets tagged along with this because the spy cars believe that he's another spy but is acting just really dumb because that's his character. And this actually leads on to a really, really well-developed theme of getting over what other people think of you. Mater struggles throughout the entire movie thinking that people think that he's stupid. And at the somewhere near the end, he starts to realize that this is what everyone thinks of him. As soon as they see him, he thinks that he's a stupid car. But in the final act, he's able to realize that he should block out what other people say because by doing so, he's able to save the world and find that Sir Miles Axelrod is the one behind the entire operation undercover who started the race and this new modern oil to make all modern oil look bad. Like on paper, just hearing that out loud, it sounds like a really good movie. It just becomes a really weird thing when Pixar, the people behind Toy Story and the original Cars and Cars 3 later on, makes this spy thriller movie about cars, racing, and violence in a G movie. That's when it becomes absurd. But besides that fact, it's actually a pretty well-developed plot. And it has a twist in the end that honestly, I did not see coming. Not at all. And I believe that a lot of other people did not see this coming. I mean, Sir Miles Axelrod is from the beginning. It kind of hints at it like that he's just kind of there the entire time. But it really just becomes this big mystery. And I think that's what actually makes this movie succeed a lot. The movie's overlooked for having a very weird plot for a Cars movie, but honestly, it's a really well-developed one. The action sequences and the sequences of like all the buildings and stuff like that, different types of areas in the entire world, are actually really well-developed and use the environments to their advantage. And still, because it is a Cars movie, it still has the racing plot with Lightning McQueen and Francesco. And it becomes a battle between Francesco and Lightning because of how deep their connection goes throughout the rest of the movie, because they just want to keep beating each other. Because Francesco wins the first round, but Lightning McQueen wins the second round. And then the final one kind of raises the stakes because whoever wins is kind of like the guaranteed champion. I'm very passionate about this movie, if you can't tell. Like, I really do believe that it's a really good movie. It's really good. And that is just my personal opinion. You don't have to have the same opinion as I do. That's completely fine. Whatever you think, that's completely fine. I understand that it's just a really weird concept to wrap your head around in a Cars movie. But at the same time, I think there is something like in Cars 2 that is brilliant about it. And compared to a lot of other Pixar works, as I just said earlier in the video, it's so elevated by the fact that recent Pixar like Lightyear and Elemental are kind of disappointing, that it makes Cars 2 shine out a lot. If you haven't seen the movie in a while, I'd give it a try. It's much better than something like Lightyear, Elemental, and some of the newer ones. I mean, Soul is better than Cars 2, but like at the same time, Turning Red and Luca are just not as good as Cars 2 at all. I'd give it a try if I were you, if it's been a long time. This movie holds up pretty damn well. I hope you enjoyed this positive video about Cars 2. I'm very passionate about it, and I hope that you go check it out maybe once more, because you're interested in seeing if it actually does hold up, if it even is good, taking into mind that it actually has a pretty well-developed plot. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm Enchanted. Bye.